Okay, this is a World War II Enigma machine that is in fact in working condition, or almost in working condition. It doesn't have batteries in it at the moment, but when I press a key, one of these letters, other than the one that I pressed, would normally light up. And that's how it encrypts something. If I entered if we reset the rotor back to the starting position, and then typed the same letter that lit up, it would light up the A that I originally entered. So it can encrypt and decrypt the same message. In order to change the encryption key, we would open the top of the machine like this, and here are the three rotors. The way this machine works, if I type a key, that closes one of the circuits connected with these keys. That circuit passes through each of these three rotors to this, which is the reflector, which sends it back through the three rotors to one of these light bulbs. Each time I press a key, this rotor advances, and if it advances all the way around to the 26th position, the next time I hit a key, it advanced the second rotor. And so the encryption key is changed by one position for each character of the message that you're sending with it. To change the key, what we would do is pull this handle, and then I can lift the rotors out. I'm not going to do that right now because it takes a long time to put it back together. And once they've been removed, each rotor can be separated into two halves and then turned a random amount. And that changes the key, which you would typically do the next day if you were doing this in a military environment. The instructions are all written right here in German. And the only part of this particular Enigma machine that is not original is in this little box, which originally contained a lead-acid battery. A lead-acid battery that was made in the 1940s would be a dangerous thing to have on hand at this point. And so when I was a little boy and my father showed me this machine, I went to Radio Shack and got a battery holder, which I can put two D cells in, and then the machine will work with D cells instead of the original lead-acid battery. But other than the contents of that battery box, this is the original machine. I mentioned that the military version of this machine differed from the civilian version in that it had this additional plug board, which just does a further transformation of the clear text into ciphertext. These jumpers can be unplugged and moved around. And so to produce the key that's needed to decrypt today's messages, I would need the rotor settings for today and the stecker board settings. This plug board is called a stecker board. And having set the machine up that way, I should then be able to decrypt the messages from Herr Hitler or whoever sends them.
Tell us, Dave, how you got the machine.
At the end of World War II, the Allied command ordered a mission called TICOM, in which a group of American and British operatives from Bletchley Park went to a small town someplace in the Black Forest, and I don't remember the name of it, but if anyone wants to know, you can Google TICOM, T-I-C-O-M, and find the history of that mission. It was all declassified 50 years after the end of the war, so it's available on Google today. When they went there, their mission was to discover how much progress the Germans had made in attacking the ciphers that the Allies were using. And the way this mission was accomplished, they seized truckloads of equipment, including machines like this, and they also took some prisoners of war, people who had done work on that equipment. This particular machine was a gift to my father from a POW that he was escorting. Not like a typical POW escort, perhaps. He found this particular German to be more like a college math professor than a Nazi soldier. And they became close friends by the time the convoy reached London.
You know, Dave, I think one thing we want to establish. Your dad worked at Bletchley Park,
Yes,
right?
my father was
With
one of the
Alan
people at
Turing.
Bletchley, and he was one of the people involved in the TICOM mission.
And he knew Alan Turing. I'm sure.
Yes, Turing was at Bletchley at the same time that my father was. There were about 8,000 people working there, so, you know, but he has...
And just one last thing for the group. What did your dad say about Turing as a person?
Well, he described him as being very tightly focused and sort of antisocial, very, very fixed at this particular task that he was given, which was to find a way to decrypt messages that had been encrypted with this machine.
Thank you so much. I know our group will love this.
His approach was to imitate the machine, hence the title of the movie that's been made about him. Right. And what he did was he built an electrically powered version of this machine that had, instead of 3 rotors, multiple sets of 3 rotors, so that they could do a whole lot of what today would be called a brute force attack. Try lots and lots and lots of passwords until you hit the right one.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right. That is really